Hi, I'm Michelle and welcome to my YouTube channel, Unicorn and Centaur. Today's video is a collection of stories about things that have happened to me while trail riding. There are quite a few films and TV shows that get shot on the property where my horses live. The stable and pastures sit on what was once a 700+ acre rice plantation here on the coast of Georgia. It's a great place for filming things because it has all kinds of terrain, from a river, ponds, forests, swamps, and all kinds of buildings, including a huge, beautiful farmhouse that could be out of any time in the last 3 centuries. So a couple times a year we'll be riding the trails, come around a corner, and suddenly we've come upon a film set. Or we stumble upon the base camp for the crew, and it's just like where there used to be a field is now a huge parking lot full of cars and trailers and porta potties. Usually the film people just stare at us and take pics as we walk on by. But once we got stopped by security because Sunny was literally about to walk into the shot. Like they were shooting and we were about to walk into the background. I never ask what they're filming. I probably should be more curious, but I'm usually just trying to be invisible so we can go for our ride in peace. Sometimes I'm in the mood to ride a unicorn. When I'm stressed or there's a lot going on in my life or I'm just feeling super extra, I will bring one of the unicorn horns from right back up here, take it down to the barn, slap it on my horse, and we will go for a ride. It is so therapeutic for me to be riding and see that horn rising from between the ears in front of me. It's just so magical. Like I'm living my 8-year-old self's dream. So usually we're deep in the woods when we're like this, and nobody sees us. But we do have to cross a road to get to one of the trails. So sometimes when we're waiting on traffic to pass, we see the faces of people in their cars passing by like. And one time, a friend and I were riding with our fairy wings on and the unicorn horns on our horses. We were just riding on a dirt road that goes behind some houses. Well, there was this old guy on a golf cart that we happened upon. And I smiled and waved, and he gave us the nastiest stink eye. Like we just peed in his Cheerios. Just angry as we passed by. We weren't on his property. None of the horses pooped right in front of him. Like, what kind of sour-hearted weirdo sees 2 fairies riding unicorns and is like, just filled with hate? I don't know what that dude's problem was, but I hope he got it sorted out because that was not healthy. My horse Artax is an Arabian, and in true Arabian form, he spooks at everything. Yes, including his own shadow. And he is just all around dramatic. He does this thing where like all 4 legs just go boom, and then suddenly I'm like sitting 6 inches lower and my heart jumps into my throat. The worst spook Artax ever did was when my son Liam was riding him. This was when Liam was about 9 years old. This was years ago. So they were riding behind me on the trail. I felt safe with them following us because I thought for sure, even if something upsets Artax, he's not gonna like just barrel right past the lead horse. He's just gonna be back there and get all dancy and ridiculous. I was wrong. At one point, something, a falling leaf, his shadow, a squirrel pooping, I don't know, it set him off. All of a sudden I hear hoofbeats and then Artax streaks by me at full gallop with my son clinging to the side of him like a sandspur. No clue what set him off, but he was flying. I had hopes for Liam for a second, but then I saw him do that slow slide and I realized, no, it's over. He did this weird kind of somersault in the air where he ended up landing upside down with his back and head against a big pine tree and then just kind of melted down into the pine straw below on his head. It's kind of weirdly sickening watching your only child thud into a giant tree trunk. Like that noise. But I remained calm, dismounted, dusted my kid off. He was good. And then we all did the walk of shame back to the barn together. Where we found Artax at the gate to his paddock, breathing heavily like he was giving birth. I was so annoyed. The only other fall I've had on the trail was when I was mounting. I was riding Weasley, and shout out in the comments if you remember my sweet, fat, grouchy Weasley. Weasley. And I had dismounted to open a gate, as one does. At that point, Weasley and I were too fat for me to remount from the ground, so I had to look for a stump or something where I could like help myself get back up on, something to use as a mounting block. So I found a stump, walked Weasley over there, got a leg up and over him, and he took this big step forward, and suddenly I just came off the other side. I just went up and completely over, and I found myself like laying on my back, looking up at the sky, just laying in the leaf litter of the forest floor, wondering what just happened. And Weasley was like, what? How do you fall off getting on? Like, I still don't understand how it happened. We ride on a huge property, as mentioned before, that is mostly still wild green spaces, which is awesome. So there's a lot of wildlife there. The full list of all the animal encounters we've had: snakes, armadillos, foxes, bald eagles, wild pigs, otters, and alligators. That last one is the reason for this video. I have a Centaur of Attention video that I would like to shoot, but about 2 weeks ago, a fairly decent sized alligator decided to park her fat butt in the mud right off the side of the trail where I film. If you aren't familiar with American alligators, they are actually very shy animals and not aggressive at all. And human beings and horses are both too big to be prey. They don't prey on humans or anything really bigger than like a large dog. Now, toddlers and children are on the list of things that are interesting, but adult humans and horses generally have nothing to fear. However, if an alligator gets scared or nervous, they will move and run away. The little ones, the little baby ones, will like thrash around in the water to try to scare off whatever it is they're scared of before they like run away. And it's kind of adorable and dramatic. But the big ones usually just peace out and like run off, swim away. Bye. So I'm not worried that Big Bertha here is gonna chase us down. Although, fun fact, alligators can outrun a horse. No, what I am worried about is that we're going to scare her, and then she'll move away, and the sound of a large animal moving in the brush nearby is going to spook my horse and have him take off, and he'll dump me on the trail as he bolts back for the barn. See, when I film the Centaur videos, I'm totally bareback, no saddle, and I drop the reins. I don't use the reins when I ride because I've got the gimbal in one hand and I'm gesturing with the other. So I'm just hanging out up there on top of a horse, flailing around with nothing to hold on to. So if Sunny takes off, I might just tumble right off the back. So that's why there's a Storytime video this week instead of a Centaur video. I will try to figure out an alternative trail to film on so that next week we can get back on schedule. So stay tuned to see how that goes. I hope I will have lots more trail riding adventures in the years to come. Safe ones, please. And I hope you enjoyed my trail riding tales today. Thank you to all my beautiful Patreon members, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the very end. I hope you have a magical day.